Good evening. Welcome back. The City Council will convene tonight, Thursday, not Tuesday, August 22nd, to hold a regular meeting. Public participation to this meeting is provided in person and remotely via Zoom in accordance with Mass General Law. This meeting is being broadcast by Peabody TV. Remote participation can be accessed using the Zoom link on the city website. This meeting is also being recorded by the City Council stenographer. Please join me in a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. You heard the motion by Councilor Gould. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilors, tonight there's only one hearing on the agenda, which is a Ward 3 matter, so I'm going to turn the chair over to Councilor Manning Martin.
Councilor Daigle.
Thank you, Madam. In order to avoid the appearance of a conflict of interest, I'm going to recuse myself and step out of the room for the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Daigle. So we move on to hearings. For a special permit for Martino Grill, LLC, 58 Pulaski Street. Would the clerk please read the notice?
Notice is hereby given that the City Council of the City of Peabody, acting as the special permit granting authority, will conduct a public hearing on Thursday evening, August 22nd, 2024, at 7:30 p.m. in the Frank L. Wiggin Auditorium, 24 Lowell Street, Peabody, Mass., and remotely via Zoom on the application from Martino Grill, LLC, 14 North Common Street, Topsfield, Mass., for a special permit to allow a restaurant with indoor/outdoor service over 3,000 square feet in the Mill Overlay District at 58 Pulaski Street, Peabody, Mass., as filed in accordance with Sections 4.2.5, 6.1, and 15.7 of the Peabody Zoning Ordinance. For remote participation using the Zoom platform, please visit www.peabody-ma.gov under City Calendar on the homepage or contact the City Clerk's office. Peabody City Council, Councilor Stephanie R. Peach, City Council President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Would the petitioner please state your name and what you'd like to do into the record, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is John Kelty. I'm an attorney. I have offices at 40 Lowell Street here in Peabody. I'm here on behalf of Martino Grill, LLC. Frank Martino himself is here this evening as well, if anybody has any questions. Martino Grill, LLC is located at 4 North Common Street in Topsfield, Mass. The property in question this evening is at 58 Pulaski Street. We're in an IL zone. We are here as to the creation of a 3,000 square foot restaurant in the Mill Overlay District. Requires a special permit. Frank has been operating in that same space for a considerable period of time. We added outdoor as a response to COVID, which was able to keep the restaurant alive. That increased our square footage. There were certain areas that were being utilized as something other than alcohol. But for instance, one of those small spaces became a refrigerator, and over a period of time, we've now cracked the barrier of 3,000 square feet. The 3,000 square feet is what sends us here, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have. The concept down there remains the same. 355 has temporarily closed and will reopen, but it'll reopen as a different concept. That's the formal dining room at the back of the premises. We will be back to ask for an amendment to our entertainment license to be able to offer some background music on the deck. Our current entertainment license is indoor only. We are moving forward. Frank has been able to withstand COVID and the downturn in the economy. Business has been good, and we're happy to be here this evening asking for the special permit to conduct a 3,000 square foot restaurant in a mill overlay zoning district. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Kelty. Is there anyone in the audience to speak in favor? Anyone in the audience to speak in favor of the petitioner? Anyone in favor? Anyone on Zoom? No one on Zoom. Is there anyone to speak against the petitioner? Is anyone in the audience to speak against? No one against. Anyone on Zoom against? No one on Zoom against. Okay. Councilor Peach.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This has been something I've kind of been talking with Frank about for, I think, the better part of the last year and a half, expanding to formally use the outside deck, which is part of their lease. You might note that the dates on the application are from last year, and I did confirm with the landlord that everything's still good. This was just received later in the clerk's office this year. The only two conditions that I have for the permit, one from our health department, just making sure a revised integrated pest management plan is submitted to include the outdoor space, and then to limit the hours of the outdoor dining to 10 p.m., just to accommodate the residents that do live in the area. So with that, I'm very supportive of this. It's basically business as usual, what's been going on since Frankie Slice first opened and the restaurant first opened. This is just formalizing it with the additional space that's kind of just accumulated over the last 2 years. And then they'll come back to us for an expanded entertainment license and to the licensing board to revise their liquor license. So.
And may I say that may I?
Yes, you may.
We're perfectly amenable to that 10 o'clock restriction. That's the current restriction. We don't serve outdoors after that, so we're perfectly amenable.
Thank you, Councilor Peach. Are you all set? Excellent. Is there a motion to close? Oh, Councilor Gould. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm fully supportive of this venture, and I think this will jumpstart Mr. Martino in his venture at Pulaski Street. He puts in a lot of effort and serves a great product, and I fully support it. Thank you.
Any other councilors? Being none, can I have a motion to close public hearing?
So moved.
Councilor Peach, you heard the motion. All in favor? Any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor Peach?
Thank you, Madam Chair. At this time, I move to approve the special permit application from Martino Grill for a special permit to allow a restaurant with indoor/outdoor service over 3,000 square feet in the Mill Overlay District at 58 Pulaski Street, Peabody, Mass., with two conditions. One, that a revised integrated pest management plan is filed with the Health Department, and two, that the outdoor dining is limited to 10 p.m. So moved.
You heard the motion. Remarks on the motion? Being none, roll call.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Gamache, McGinn,
Yes.
Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Motion carries 9-0.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you,
Frankie, we're
councilors.
looking forward to your success. We'll be down to see you soon. Good luck.
All right, councilors, moving right along to motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Turco.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of the rules, move to receive late one. I'm going to say we refer it to ICD because I think we're probably going to discuss some possible changes to this. Then we can invite Attorney Khan to that meeting.
You heard the motion by Councilor Turco. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed, it's a vote. Councilor Turco.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of the rules, move to receive and approve item 9A, all papers being in order, banner request, Care Dimensions, 75 Sylvan Street.
You heard the motion by Councilor Turco. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed, it's a vote. Councilor Turco.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of the rules, move to receive item 9C, all papers being in order. Receive and approve item 9C, all papers being in order. Use of the Wigan Auditorium, St. Vasilios Greek Orthodox Church, 5 Paleologus Street. So moved.
You heard the motion by Councilor Turco. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed, it's a vote. Councilor Turco.
Thank you, Madam President. Just to be sure, 9D is yours.
That's correct. Receive and set up a hearing, please.
On behalf of Madam President, move to receive item 9D and set up a public hearing.
You heard the motion by Councilor Turco. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed, it's a vote. Councilor Turco.
No further motions.
Thank you. Councilor Rossignol.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, a question to Clerk Danforth. Have you ever gotten any response from our state delegates regarding the request to come before us regarding the MBTA housing?
No, I have not, Councilor.
I'd make a motion again to request our state legislation to come before us, not only now to talk about the MBTA housing initiative, which I think is a gross overstep, but now this new late communication, which I think is even worse of a gross overstep by the state. So my motion would be to request Clerk Danforth to have our state delegates come before us and please explain, at least to me, why they think this is a good idea. So moved.
You heard the motion by Councilor Rossignol. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed, it's a vote. Councilor Rossignol.
Thank you, Madam President. Again, through you to Clerk Danforth, I made a motion months ago to ask for Republic, the trash hauler, to come before us to talk about their inept business. Have you gotten any response from them?
No, Councilor.
So I would then again make a motion to request Republic to come before us. At least once a month, neighborhoods are being missed, and I don't think that that's strong business practice, and as well as I think that that is a breach of their contract. So I would ask them to come before us again. So moved.
Councilors, you heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed, it's a vote. Councilor Rossignol.
Thank you, Madam President. Lastly, I would make a motion to request the mayor and/or the Department of Public Health to issue fines to Republic every time that they do miss a neighborhood, because in my mind, that is a breach of their contract. They're scheduled to come out weekly. If they're missing days because of their inability to service our city, then I think they need to be held accountable. So moved.
You heard the motion by Councilor Rossignol. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed, it's a vote. Councilor Rossignol.
No further motions. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Welton.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to receive and approve all papers being in order. Item 8C. So moved.
You heard the motion to receive 8C. Any discussion? Receive and approve. Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed, it's a vote. Councilor Welton.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd also like to move that we receive and approve item 8D, all papers being in order. So moved.
You heard the motion to receive and approve. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed, it's a vote. Councilor Welton.
Thank you, Madam President. On this next item, I would like to schedule an opportunity for a public hearing regarding our desire to move forward with ordinance change for Casco Road, prohibiting left-hand turn. So with that, I don't know if the council would like to meet ahead of our next meeting, like maybe a little bit earlier before we start, or if we want to do this as an agenda item at the meeting, but we'd like to schedule something so we can have a public hearing.
So, Council, the clerk's advised that you should make a motion to set up a public hearing. to discuss the ordinance change, and we will advertise that in the Lynn item. And I believe we can, if the clerk has no objections, fit it on our next meeting. A regular meeting. Is that okay? Counselor, if you could make the motion, and then I will discuss with the clerk timing of the hearing. It might be a special meeting of the council, but if you could make a motion for a public hearing, and then we will set the agenda.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion that we schedule a public hearing to discuss the no left-hand turn ordinance proposed for Casco Road. So moved.
Councilors, you heard the motion. Any discussion? Councilor Manning Martin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you to Council Welton. I know that this council requested communication and interpretation from Attorney Khan regarding the Assistant City Solicitor of Lynn's message sent to him regarding our future actions. Have you received anything from Attorney Khan?
Councilor Manning Martin, I'll defer to Councilor Rosendahl. I think he has some more insight.
Councilor Rossignol.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you to Council Manning Martin. I had conversations, because this was illegal, I reached out to both the mayor as well as Attorney Khan. Attorney Khan did not want to come before us just because if this does turn into litigation and legal matters, he didn't want, he wanted us to have the public hearing prior to any written communication. But he did recommend us have a public hearing just to, even though we've had these discussions numerous times, they've been in public forums every time. His recommendation was to have one more scheduled public hearing, as well as it being advertised in the Lynn item.
Councilor Manning Martin.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Councilor Rossignol. I guess that still leaves me with the question that he's afraid we're going to enter into litigation, so we reached out to him for advice if we potentially were going into litigation, and he said he needed 10 days to respond to us. It's been 6 weeks, and now we're setting up a public hearing and not getting any advice from council for us to act avoiding litigation. So I'm a little lost.
Councilor Rossignol.
From my conversation with Attorney Khan, the reason why we're doing this is for public safety. Every single person here, there is no other reason to perform these acts than because it's a safety issue. That's why we've all gone out there numerous times. That's why we've had numbers of meetings on this. That's why he's met with the mayor of Lynn. That's why he's met with the town of Lynnfield as of Monday, meaning the mayor. So whether we end up in litigation or not is really up to Lynn and their interpretation of what we're trying to do. So the position that I see us in is we're not stopping their flow of traffic, and that's what Lynn's argument is that we're stopping them from accessing. We're modifying it to make it safer. And from the discussion I had with Attorney Khan, that is a legal basis if they decide to pursue litigation.
Councilor Manning Martin.
Thank you, and I appreciate your effort to fill in for information that we requested that we didn't get. So I appreciate
Fair.
your effort. However, I go back to the fact that we received a letter from an attorney from another city, the city's assistant city solicitor, claiming that what we were attempting to do was in violation of the law. We simply asked our city solicitor to interpret that claim, not anything further, just to interpret that claim, and we got nothing, as usual, from the city solicitor. That's my point. So I'm glad that this council moved forward, and I think we should continue to move forward. I'm not going to stop the scheduling of a public hearing because I don't expect us to get any assistance in that regard from the city solicitor. So we might as well just continue to move forward and do what we think is right for our citizens of Peabody to keep them safe. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, did you want to say something on this?
I wasn't planning to speak. I was just walking by and heard some comments that demand to be responded to. As Councilor Rossignol was saying, there's been a lot taking place. It would be a terrible mistake and a disservice to the citizens of our city that we represent if we were to have a city solicitor come to speak with us or put something in writing that would be regarding this case and any legal strategy they would have. I believe that Councilor Rossignol spoke to Attorney Khan, and Attorney Khan's recommendation was to have an executive session so that we could speak in private to talk about our legal strategy and to hear the importance of the decisions and the moves we make. To have him come to a meeting or write something regarding legal strategy after receiving a letter would be a true disservice to the citizens of Peabody. Let's schedule executive session, talk as a group, come up with our own legal strategy as to how we're going to deal with the city of Lynn. That was the advice from the city solicitor, and that would be the proper thing to do. He's attended numerous meetings with me over the last few weeks, speaking with both councils and numerous communities. He's done a terrific job advising me, but it's the right thing to do is to do it behind closed doors as we're legally required to do and should do to have an executive session. And that would be my advice. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Manning Martin.
Well, I'm glad you were passing through, Mayor, because that's the first we've heard of an executive session. Should the city solicitor have sent us a communication suggesting that, then the conversation wouldn't, wouldn't have occurred. But I'm glad you were here, and thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
The motion on the floor is to schedule a public hearing. Any other discussion? Councilor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. Just for clarification, this is the disposition of 10D. Is that? I just didn't hear that in the motion. And Councilor Welton, is this the disposition of 10D? Yes. Thank you.
Councilor Welton.
Thank you, Councilor McGinn, for clarifying. Yes, that's item 10D. With that, I just wanted to amend the motion to request that we have Captain Richards, Chief Griffin, Attorney Khan, Will Politz, and the mayor.
The crew. Councilor Manning Martin.
You're amending the motion to have a public hearing. I would lean towards you amending it to add an executive session.
I don't know, from a scheduling standpoint, I don't know if we want to schedule executive session before we have the public hearing and gather feedback from any constituents or neighboring community constituents. The way that I had looked at it, Councilor Manning Martin, I'm certainly open for any discussion on the motion, but we'd have the public hearing, we'd gather additional feedback, and then schedule an executive session. But this happens to be in Ward 1, but I know this is an issue that we're all trying to rectify, so whatever suggestions the council has, I'm certainly amenable to.
Just my thought as well. I would agree with Councilor Welton that we'd have the public hearing. There's no current litigation before us. Any actions that we take that might result in litigation then would result in an executive session to discuss the city's strategy to combat those from the city of Lynn. Any other discussion? Seeing none, the motion on the floor is to have a public hearing, which disposes of 10D. Any discussion? Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor Welton.
Thank you, Councilor Peach. Also, I wanted to, before I make a motion, I just wanted to make a statement. Everybody knows that we've had traffic mitigation measures that we put in place at the bottom of Linfield Street and Bartholomew. It's gone, knock on wood, pretty well. We haven't had any major traffic incidents since we've done the traffic mitigation efforts on the corner of Linfield and Bartholomew Street. So that's gone very well. I appreciate all the hard work from our police department, from Department of Public Services, from the mayor's office as well for continuing to advocate and get that done. I would like to, and I apologize, Councilor Manning Martin, I didn't give you a heads up on this, but I'd like to see if we could maybe schedule, and it doesn't have to be the next meeting, but schedule a municipal safety committee meeting to have a discussion similar for the intersection of Lynn and Bartholomew Street. I think that's probably the next most dangerous intersection we have in Ward 1, so I'd love to hear from our police department and Department of Public Services if perhaps there's similar measures that we took this time around that could be applicable to Lynn and Bartholomew Street. So the motion or the request would be to schedule a municipal safety committee meeting at the chair's convenience so that we could further discuss that. And again, we'd like to invite the police department and DPS to that one as well. So moved.
You heard the motion. Any discussion? Councilor Manning Martin.
Yes, I'll gladly set up a municipal safety meeting, and there are 2 other intersections as well that will be on that meeting, so it'll probably be a long meeting. So we have some issues throughout the city that residents are concerned about, so I'll set one up. Thank you.
You heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? Councilor Welton. It's a vote. It's time to
Thank
go
you,
to bed.
Madam President. No further motions this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilor Gamache.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. On the suspension of the rules, I'd like to go to item 8E and approve the warrant from William Galvin concerning the polling precincts. Do we need to sign this? So you're going to have this after the meeting to sign, or is she going to?
As soon as we vote on it.
Okay,
it'll
so
be passed
I
around to
move
sign.
to approve this warrant. So moved.
You heard the motion to approve. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor Gamache.
Yes, also under suspension of rules, like to receive 8A. That was a motion made by me to make sure that the city was collecting all of its hotel room tax that so far through May, we have received them. The next printout will come 3 months from there. So I'm going to keep following up on this, and I'll report back to the council.
You heard the motion to receive. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor Gamache.
Yes, at this time, I'd like to receive late communication number 2.
You heard the motion to receive late 2. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote.
This communication I would also like to send to Tom St. Pierre, who is the person I believe is in charge of ordinance to fulfill the ordinances and any violations of said ordinances. I spoke with Don Kahn on Tuesday, and I explained that I call the police. The police sometimes can't get there right away, and the car carriers drop their vehicles and they move. I suggested that maybe if we could take some pictures of the violations and follow up with the phone call to the police department that they were made aware of the situation, if that would suffice. He believes that it's quite possible that the pictures would allow for us to submit a violation of the ordinance to the owners of the property that received the vehicles. So this is my next step. I'd like to send this to Tom. I spoke to the building inspector this afternoon, and he knows this is coming. I'd also like to say that this morning there was another car carrier at the Mercedes dealership on Route 1 South in the breakdown lane, and I took some pictures of that. I also called the police, and I waited for half an hour, and the police did show up. So I'm going to wait for the report from the city's police department for that violation, and then we'll forward the violation to the business owner for that
part of the ordinance. So I just wanted to update you on that.
Counselor Gamache, I think I heard a motion to forward this to the building commissioner.
Yes, that's correct.
Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor Gamache.
Under suspension of the rules, I'd like to go to 10C. This is an ordinance amending Chapter 19 entitled Motor Vehicles and Traffic of the Code of the City of Peabody. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Peabody as follows. Section 1, that the Code of the City of Peabody adopted April 11, 2024, and amended is hereby further amended, that Section 19-93, restricted parking, generally be amended as follows. Nancy Avenue, in front of number 1 Nancy Ave and number 2 Nancy Ave, from April 15th to July 1st. Section 2, all ordinances, parts of ordinance inconsistent herewith are hereby repealed. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect as by law. This is an ordinance that the neighbors, during softball season, they're parking and blocking the driveways. So I move approval on this. So moved.
Councilors, you heard the motion to adopt as advertised. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote.
I have no further motions, Madam President.
Oh, roll call vote. Yeah, sorry. It's been a long 6 weeks.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Gould. Sorry. Daigle,
Yes.
Manning Martin,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Motion carries 9-0.
Counselor Gamache.
No further motions. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. Suspension of the rules, move to receive and refer to finance. Item 7A, so moved.
Councilors, you heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. Suspension of the rules, move to receive item 7B and refer to finance, so moved.
You heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. Suspension of the rules, move to receive item 7B and refer to the city solicitor for an opinion regarding the lack of a social security number. So moved. Madam President, on the motion, this was flagged by the city clerk as some information missing from the application, and she was questioning as to whether or not we could issue a license given the lack of this information. So before we schedule a public hearing, the request is for a legal opinion on that matter. Thank you.
Counselor, just to clarify, this is for 9B?
Correct, 9B.
Okay. Counselors, you heard the motion to refer 9B to legal counsel. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. On the suspension of the rules, move to receive and adopt as advertised item 10A, so moved.
Councilors, you heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Gould,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
Manning Martin, Higgins,
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Motion carries 10-0.
Counselor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. This is, I'll explain this motion in a moment. Move to establish the annual cost of an employee parking pass in the Peabody City Code, Section 19-108.3 at $100. So moved. Madam President, on the motion, I had flagged this a couple of times in the past where when we went through the recodification effort, all the values were removed from the ordinance and they replaced the language with to be set by council resolution. So now there needs to be an accompanying resolution to set those fees, which is the purpose of that motion. So moved.
Councilors, you heard the motion to set, was this an employee parking fee?
Correct. That's consistent with the recommendation that went through legal affairs and so forth. We just
I just couldn't hear you, Counselor, so I just wanted to make sure I heard it correctly.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. Now, similar to that, but on a more global scale, we have this issue throughout the ordinance now where we just have this placeholder language. And again, this is something I flagged in the past. I've worked with the city clerk on this, and her recommendation is that we compile a list of all these and that we post these fees in the clerk's office, so there's a central repository for all this. So accordingly, move to establish that all fees referenced in the Peabody City Code, which are to be in amounts established by City Council resolution, be set at the amount of each such fee which existed in the Peabody City Code prior to April 11th, 2024, unless such fee has been modified by City Council resolution. And further move to establish that all fees referenced in the Peabody City Code, which are to be in amounts established by City Council resolution, be posted in the city clerk's office. So moved.
Councilors, you heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. No further motions.
Thank you. Councilor Gould.
No motions, Madam President. Thank you.
Councilor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. Do you want me to take 10B on your behalf?
Yes, if you could, Councilor, and after the vote, if we could also have a subsequent vote for DPS and building, just to notify DPS that the change is made so that the street signs can be adjusted. And then building, because the businesses need to adjust their signage.
Motion to receive item 10B and adopt as advertised. So moved.
Councilors, you heard the motion to receive 10B, adopt as advertised. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Rossignol,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Gould,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
Manning Martin,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Motion carries 10-0.
Councilor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. Move to request that DPS post all signs required to properly implement the recently adopted 10B. So moved.
You heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor McGinn.
No further motions. Thank you.
Councilor McGinn, if I could request a motion, or from anyone on the floor, that communication from the building department is sent out to local businesses about the ordinance change. Just we have, especially the car wash, routes their traffic a certain way, and this change will affect them.
So moved.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor Daigle.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of the rules, move to receive item 7C and set up a special permit hearing for the Public Safety Building / headquarters.
Councilors, you heard the motion to receive 7C and set up a public hearing. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. As a note, these big rolls of paper are the plans for the Public Safety Building. You will not get another copy. Bring them on the 12th. Councilor Daigle.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of the rules, move to receive item 8B.
You heard the motion to receive 8B. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor Daigle.
And under suspension of the rules, move to receive item 9A and approve, subject to all papers being in order.
Councilor, I think we already took care of that one.
Oh,
Thank
sorry,
you.
I must have run away. Thank you. No further motions.
Thank you. Councilor Manning Martin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This past August 7th, I attended a Purple Heart Community designation in Danvers, and it was quite moving. And I wanted to share with you what Purple Heart Community entails. A Purple Heart Community is a municipality in the United States that honors and recognizes the sacrifices of military personnel who have been wounded or killed in combat. The designation is given by the Military Order of the Purple Heart, a congressional chartered organization that supports combat wounded veterans. To become a Purple Heart community, a municipality must issue an official proclamation and recognize August 7th as National Purple Heart Day. The designation often includes initiatives and ceremonies to commemorate Purple Heart recipients, raise awareness, and express gratitude. For example, some communities install signs to proclaim their designation and also have ceremonies to thank their Purple Heart recipients and family members. And as of January 24th, there are more now because this past August, some more communities joined this initiative. But as of January 2024, there were approximately 900 Purple Heart locations in the United States, honoring 1.6 million Purple Heart recipients. So I would like Peabody to join those 900 plus Purple Heart communities. So I'd like to make a motion to have the Veterans Agent take the steps necessary for us to become a Purple Heart community, for Peabody to become one, and annually honor Purple Heart recipients on August 7th of each year. So moved.
Councilors, you heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor Manning Martin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. No further motions.
Thank you. Councilor Higgins.
No motions or resolutions tonight.
Thank you, Councilor Higgins. As a note to the public, September 3rd is state primary day. It's election day. You can currently vote. No? Next week? When can you start voting? I'll turn it over to the clerk to announce when you can vote.
So early voting will start this Saturday. We'll be voting right here in the Wigan Auditorium from 9 to 3 on Saturday and Sunday, and then our business hours of operation next week. We will be having early voting. Next Monday is the last day to request a vote by mail application, and this Saturday, the 24th, is the last day to register to vote at 5 o'clock, and we will be here till 5 o'clock. And of course, we can vote on Election Day.
All right, so, and Councilor Turco. Forgot, sorry.
Thank you for coming back to me, Madam Chair. Something that Councilor Walton and I have been discussing via email, and I thought I should kind of let the entire council know the issue. If you all remember, we had Bill Delp come before us from Granite Road with some flooding issues. He gave a very nice presentation maybe 2 to 3 years ago, and I think Ricky Williams, his next-door neighbor, was also there. We had approved funding to fix the issue. It came out of ARPA in the amount of roughly $700,000. The project was done. Somehow the project was not done properly. The drain that was placed in the middle of the street is about 1 inch too high, so it does not take on water. How it was approved, I don't know. So I'm not here to make an accusation. I'm here to fix the issue. So I did, Madam Clerk, put that in subcommittee with Public Services, and I'd like to set up that meeting sooner than later. As it's been a constant issue. Each time it rains, it actually has made the problem worse for these residents. Councilor Welton and I, and this is a co-motion, Councilor Welton and I have repeatedly tried different avenues to get this fixed. The only solution given to us was possibly repaving the road. If that's it, then I'd like the support of the council to repave it and get this done. It's been a 5-year process, but we can do that in subcommittee. I just wanted to let you all know that this was a major error by somebody, and I just really think that we need to address it, especially given the amount of taxpayer dollars that went into this. So sooner than later, I'd like to have that public hearing, preferably next meeting if possible.
Thank you, Councilor Turco. Anything else? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. We are adjourned.